the end of the year. So let's continue with Charlie and Adam, and we also bring Hadley Heath Manning into that discussion. Hadley, good to see you. This idea of getting taxes, and that's kind of what Charlie's getting at, is if you get past health care to the extent that you can, even if it's a two-part bill, move on to start talking about taxes, even if you do that, getting it done by the end of the year, what odds would you put on it?
You know, I think there's some odds in their favor, but Republicans are making a mistake if they're just thinking of these policy items in terms of checking off a list of things that they promised to do.
Right.
The problem with health reform in large part is they've been having the debate on the terms of the left, talking about how many people have insurance coverage, when the majority of people who gained insurance coverage under Obamacare were simply thrown into the Medicaid program. Now with tax reform, Republicans have to work very hard to get ahead of this and change the framing of the debate. Don't have it on the left's terms. Let's talk about economic opportunity and wage growth and the many things that are going to happen for Americans across the income spectrum if we can get this done.
Okay, back to the market discussion that you started a few minutes ago. On taxes, what's priced in now, do you think?
It's hard to really say. I mean, I think a lot of people think the tax, it depends on who you talk to. It's half the institutional investors I talk to say tax cuts are not priced in. Anything you get now would be upside surprise and watch the markets go up.
I've heard people saying just the opposite.
And I've heard people say just the opposite. My guess is if you don't get tax cuts, if you can't agree on that, you're going to have some market sell-off. I mean, you would almost have to. I mean, listen, why do markets go up? Because corporate earnings go up, right? Stocks go up because of corporate earnings going up. And corporate earnings have been, modestly okay. So, listen, my point is just this. If you do get a tax bill,
right,
if it looks like they're moving that way, that's upside surprise for a lot of people, and you will have buying.
Could this be a split situation, Adam, in any way? The same way that we're talking about health care, where you look at corporate taxes and you say that that has more, bipartisan support. You could get people to support it, and it could help financial markets. Let's do that and do income taxes separately.
The simple answer is yes. You will get a tax bill before the end of the year. Mnuchin and Cohn are pushing very hard. Orrin Hatch and Senate Finance is pushing hard. The key is Kevin Brady. They are arguing about the consumption tax, the border adjustment tax, because you have to pay for these cuts. But there are things that Wall Street's going to love. For instance, the Republican blueprint from 2016 doesn't drop the capital gains, but what it does allow you to do is deduct 50% of the net capital gain. So we essentially drop the capital gains tax. That would be a plus. But the business community is pushing back on a big way to pay for this tax bill, which is they want to remove the deductions for state and local taxes, and it's, people in New York, Illinois, they're fighting against that. The business community is fighting against that.
Oh, really? That's interesting. One other thing. Can you get a corporate tax cut without passing the border adjustment tax?
Yeah, that's the key question to ask Kevin Brady. We may get that opportunity on Thursday, but here's the problem. Cohn and Mnuchin have said 15%. Originally, that was an opening negotiation. Now they're sticking to it. Orrin Hatch, in our interview with him 2 weeks ago, said no, 20 to 25%.
I saw that.
And if you look at historic tax reform, 1986, when they did very much several of the same issues on the table today were on the table then. They determined at Treasury in '86 that you could not lower the corporate tax rate and have a revenue neutral bill unless you had a corporate tax rate of 33%. So how they're going to do it this time at 15% or even 20% defies the math. They've got to come up with some way to keep it revenue neutral or allow for deficits to increase.
Your argument right off the bat, Hadley, was that the devil would be in the details. Now, Adam went through a lot of details there that could happen. Does that make sense politically? That argument is something that they could bring and win with, you think?
Well, I think when it comes to winning over the public, the devil may be in the details policy-wise, but in terms of communication strategy for the GOP, we know exactly what Democrats are going to say about tax reform. They're going to say this is only beneficial to the rich. They're going to turn it into a class warfare. They're going to say it only benefits corporations. Republicans need to get ahead of this and explain how reducing corporate tax rates actually benefits workers who pay a huge share indirectly of corporate taxes. This isn't just about one class versus the other. Of course, Wall Street's going to like tax reform. But Main Street is going to love tax reform, too, and Republicans have to make that case.
The proposal, though, that if they were to remove the deductions for state and local taxes, you put Chuck Schumer in the awkward position of having to defend so-called wealthy people, because people in Texas don't deduct income tax. I don't believe they have it. Well, in Florida, they don't have an income tax, but they do in the state of New York. So what Chuck Schumer, what the Democrats are going to have to do is say, we have to preserve this deduction for people who make over $100,000 a year and itemize. That's the play here. Forget the policy issue. You're putting the Democrats in a position of defending the wealthy.
Exactly. One of the stories that was out there, and the administration's pushed back on this and says it's not true, but is that you could make this argument that Hadley's talking about to some extent by saying that on personal income tax rates, instead of going down to 35, let's push that top rate up to 40. Again, they say that's not true, but then you were able to pay for some of the so-called middle income tax rates cutting, and also the corporate tax rate.
I don't see
down.
how Republicans vote for a tax increase.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying and that's why they shut down that story.
Republicans voted for a tax increase in 1986. It was a $150 billion tax increase on businesses in the historic Reagan tax.
I know, but they didn't. They didn't push the upper rate up. I mean, I think there are tax increases and tax increases.
Right.
If you're Paul Ryan, I can't imagine you arguing we need to take the upper rate.
Just gets rid of the tax cut for the rich.
But Orrin Hatch said we're not cutting taxes for the rich. He said it in the interview we did. So you're going to keep it
because that's when they get rid of the deductions.
Yeah. Well,
quick last point, Hadley, if you want to make it before we move on what happens here.
Well, looking at the 40% tax rate on individuals, Republicans have to keep in mind and remind the public that many small businesses file through the individual income tax code. So that would be bad policy and bad politics, from my point of view.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. It's 39.6 now, and they say it's going down to 35. And that story that was out, they've shot down. Anyway, Adam and Charlie, thanks.